what is going on? The Bills have started. Well, they kicked off the 2023 season with training camp. A lot of excited fans out there, sold out as always. A lot of news coming out, right? Like I said, obviously this is just a glorified conditioning, as I like to call it. But we got a lot to talk about tonight. Obviously, big thing is Nyheim Hines likely done for the season. We're gonna break down what that means for the Bills roster wise. Obviously, they're gonna be looking for another return man, and contractually, because this injury happened outside the football field, we have to talk about that because the Bills may look to recoup some money. We're gonna break it all down. We're also gonna talk about tonight is looks like Sean McDermott said that the Bills are in a good spot with Stefon Diggs. We'll break down what that means, and actually we'll talk to James a little bit tonight about the continuity of camp, living in the dorms, close spaces, tight space if you want to call it that, or close quarters with your teammates, and what the effect that is. Other than that, James, what's going on, man?
Man, it's good to be back, man. Training camp
Uh oh.
open. We've been waiting for this for a while. It seemed like, man, and it's finally here that we get back to the good stuff, man. Where it's really football now, not off-season moves. What can be, what should be, what might happen. Now it's about playing the game and seeing what's going to happen. Let's get some results now.
Right. Not even gonna do the intro tonight. Like no video, no nothing. We gonna rock with this. We gonna keep going, right?
Let's get it.
Mind you, this is if you're new to the show, this nothing's personal, just Buffalo. Your host JTM here. Got my guy James Mallory, former NFL running back James Mallory, and this is brought to you by the Cold Frame Report and sponsored by Checkers. So get down to your local Checkers to get some burger or fries on us. All right. So, a couple news and notes here from the Bills camp before we get into the nitty gritty of the night. Obviously, after Nyheim Hines injury, the Bills confirmed by NY Ryan Talbot. The Bills are working out former was he? I think it's former second round pick. Andy
Second or
Isabella.
third round.
Second or third round pick. Andy Isabella. He's with the Cardinals for the last couple of years. They also brought in Darian Evans. I actually signed him. Kylan Hill is having to work out. Aber Smith is having to work out. All those guys are return men. I am assuming they are looking for a return man at kick return. Okay. Punt return, I think you can get Byron Hardy, but I don't think that he'll be a kick return. Other news and notes, obviously, big and exciting news, Damar Hamlin, full go. Sean McDermott said he's full go at practice. That's a great thing to see after we saw what we saw last season. It'll be a couple months later, he's back on the football field. Stefon Diggs is obviously full go. He's back. They got to talk about middle linebacker. We're going to talk about that tonight. But going down the line, we got a middle linebacker competition. We got a cornerback number 2 competition. So we got a lot of things that we're going to be talking about over the next couple of weeks as camp unfolds. And we actually really get into the, as I call it, the non-fan part of training camp. They signed a tight end, Jay Sternberger. He was a former third-round pick of the Packers. Was a pretty decent player there in the USFL. So we're going to see what kind of competition they put him in with Quentin Morris and those guys at the tight end spot. But other than that, I mean, that's pretty much all the news. So let's hop right into it, James.
Let's get it.
First thing first, Nyheim Hines. Okay. Obviously, you guys are not aware. Nyheim Hines suffered an injury to his ACL. It was reported that I actually read this. It was reported by Tom Pelissero that Hines suffered an injury during a jet ski accident and is dealing with serious but non-life-threatening injuries as a result. The news marks an obviously disappointing blow for the 26-year-old. He was poised to begin his first full season as Buffalo Bills running back. Now, this is a guy that we actually got a chance to talk to a couple months ago, and it actually sad because this was a guy that was really excited for this season. I think I was telling you before when I saw him back at Batavia Downs. I want to say that was February or March, and he was just saying to me, he was talking to me, and he was talking to Fred Jackson, former Bills running back Fred Jackson, and he pretty much is saying to both of us, just got to get in the playbook. Just want to get in the playbook. Just need a full off season into the playbook, and now he has that. And then boom, this happens, right? When we talked to him at the Micah Hyde game, we're in the locker room for the Micah Hyde charity softball game. This is a guy that was excited, and not only he was just excited to play with Buffalo this year, being the playbook, but you could tell he was excited to get in the community and do work as well.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what we were speaking to him about. But unfortunately, things happen, and this is the ticker alert that you don't want to see at this time of the year, right? You never want to see it, but this is the time of year where your fingers are crossed, like, hey, you don't want to lose any key players, injuries, and you know it's undoubtedly it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen across the league, and
Yeah.
you just pray and say, hey, hopefully it doesn't, but if it doesn't, hopefully it's not my team or key players on my team. And I'd say Nyheim Hines is much more of a key player than people thought he was. So
Yeah,
now what you
let's
got?
be real here. Do we beat New England without him?
On that, what game was that? Week 16? Week
17?
15 one? No,
17.
we don't. No, we don't.
Yeah. I mean, that's how important it is. For years, I've been talking since Andre Roberts left. We need a return man. We need a natural returner. We
Right.
finally got one of him. An elite one at that. He's elite. Not good. He's an elite returner. And unfortunately, man, this happened. And a lot of people don't realize how important the return man is. Like, he's so valuable. Look how the Bills are scrambling now to replace him. You know, I mean, this is and people sleeping on how important this is. So, man, I'm just hoping that somebody can kind of step up and really take his place for this year. Just this is an unfortunate situation all the way around.
And the other thing is too, the other unfortunate part is it's not just a return. Like he's a guy that can be utilized within the offense as well.
Yep.
That's where the blow really comes at. Is this is a guy that if James Cook was still look uncomfortable in the passing game going through the season, then you instantly insert Nyheim Hines,
Yep.
and that's your fix. So it's very very tough situation, and obviously it's going to be very interesting to see how the Bills handle this because the last we heard is that they were looking into the situation, and I think as a former player, you know what that means. As an analyst, I know what that means. And his agent actually had a statement that I actually want to go find for you really quickly to see what he said because it was kind of it was more of a cryptic tweet that he released there, and his agent Ed Waleski, he tweeted this yesterday. Adversity reveals character. Everyone has a choice to treat others with respect and dignity. It's revealing when the employee is injured to see how a company takes care of its own. I will continue to believe that people will do the right thing when bad things happen to their own. All right. What do you make of that statement, James?
It is a financial.
I'm losing. You keep cutting in and out. Hold on a minute.
Really?
You keep going in off the screen.
But it's a continued money beef going on. That's what it is, JT. They are beefing about money. And they're probably not trying to pay him because he got hurt away from the field. They want to investigate that it wasn't anything foolish on his end that was done or anything reckless. So, I mean, I think it's probably ugly behind the scenes. They probably don't want to pay him nothing or asking for money back. The agent probably feels that he should be paid. In the NFL, I cut out again.
Yeah.
All right, I'm sorry about that, y'all. I don't know what's going on with that, but he feels he should be paid just like any other injured player in the NFL. But unfortunately, it's a different circumstance where you get hurt away from the field like that, doing something like that where you put yourself at risk. You roll the dice.
And this is the thing, right? Listen, I know it, you know it, we all know it. Players are contractually obligated to not do a lot of things. Things like riding motorcycles, riding jet skis, doing all these things. It's all in the contracts, okay? But at the end of the day, we all know they all do it. These guys are young. They're going to live their life. They're going to have fun. And in Nyheim Hines' case, I feel kind of bad because The guy wasn't doing anything malicious. There's so many more things that he could have been out here doing wrong instead of just probably being with friends and family and riding a jet ski.
What's strange to me is this, JT.
Mm.
If you got hit on I'm not saying it didn't happen, but it's just odd. Like, you get hit by somebody while you're sitting there on the jet ski. You didn't break your leg. You didn't break an ankle. You didn't break a bone. You tore a ligament.
Mm.
It's kind of odd. Like, that's why they probably like, what really happened? That's what they probably thinking. Because if somebody runs into you, probably more than likely to break a bone and tear a ligament in your knee.
Well, they said it was serious, so I mean, it may not just be just the ACL.
Okay.
It could be a lot more. I mean, really, if he got hit with a jet ski, he could have blew everything in that knee up. To be honest with you,
yeah,
you get hit like that.
And it's all speculation. We don't know, so
right.
we're just speculating, everybody.
Right. It's tough. It's a very tough situation, and you never want to see somebody not get paid, right? But with the situation that the Bills are in, and the situation that they're in cap-wise, too, this is where it's going to get interesting. I got to ask you this question. So, this is the first time I heard of Ed Waleski, who was his agent. I don't think it's a big-name agent. I don't think it's one that has a lot of high-profile clients. Possibly because he's not a high-profile agent, do you think that the Bills could potentially handle this differently? Because if this was like a Drew Rosenhaus, where you're going to have to deal with him with a high-profile client, does that change the game a little bit?
I don't think so. Okay. I think it's just putting yourself in positions that you maybe shouldn't. I think that's where that's coming from. I don't think it has to really do with the agent. I think
you cut out, James.
I think it has to do with the actual deed, whatever happened.
Mm. So apparently, I mean, obviously his base for this season is $2.56 million, pretty much. Okay, almost $2.6 million. This is the guy that me and you talked about. Was like, this is probably his last year in Buffalo anyway. So if the Bills are considering moving on in general after this season, then why wouldn't you just NFI him and recoup the money? You could, and I don't know. It's tough. Like, if it's me, obviously I'm going to wait and I'm going to see what the injury is, if he's out for season, because right now it's likely. It's not guaranteed.
They know whatever it is. They know the extent of it.
And you think it's season, right?
Yeah, they don't know. I highly doubt they'll bring him back this season. They're not gonna bring him back. Even if he was to heal up, they're not. You think
that this would be injury settlement and release possibly?
Very possible. That's probably what the beef is about.
It's tough,
covering his medical expenses and then an injury settlement.
So I mean, you're assuming that at this point in time, we probably won't see Nyheim Hines in the Bills uniform again. This is it.
That's what I'm assuming. Unfortunately, I don't want it to be that, but I think that's what it's probably going to be.
I gotta agree. The fact that they haven't really spoke on it too much is kind of revealing to me. The fact that we haven't heard really boo from them on this topic, and you got the cryptic tweet from the agent. It's like I said, it's a tough situation, and you don't want to see anybody end up in a situation like this, especially a guy as nice as Nyheim. But in the day, this is the ugly side of the business.
It is.
It is. So I don't know, man. Like I said, let me ask you this: if he was out there training, personal trainer on the beats like that, and he tore his knee up, would you still see NFI in this situation?
Yes, I think it'd be a slight difference because you can verify, okay, I was training with trainer X and this happened. I was doing a box jump. I was doing training with a running back, doing a cut, whatever the case may be. That's a little bit different as you prepping for the season, you preparing. But doing the jet ski is a little different.
Yeah. And the fact that, dude, it's literally, 24 hours before you report to camp?
Yep, but the injury could have probably happened way before then, but the news just broke. Not way before, but a few days before, and the news just broke then.
Yeah. It's tough. very tough situation. But like I said, I don't think we're gonna see Nyheim Hines in a Bills uniform again.
Yeah.
It's just not, So that's unfortunate. But what do you think happens with the return game now? Because obviously Nyheim was your kick return and your punt returner, and this is a guy that actually a position that you, like I said, you've been banging the table for a couple of years to get somebody who's a natural returner. We get one, boom, this happens. So where do you go from here? Because personally, I feel that Deontay Hardy can return punts. I'm just not going to put him on kick returns.
Yeah, I think he may end up being the punt returner. I think he's going to have like a breakout crazy season.
Mm.
Um, and then they're probably going to want to not have him back there on those eventually. So
Okay.
what they're probably looking for is a guy that is primarily a kick returner, but also has a lot of experience returning punts. Um, so I think you have a kick. You're gonna start the season off with, I'm sorry, Hardy at the punt return. Then whoever wins the kick return job. They got somebody right now that's not signed right in their backyard. They can go get who led the country in kick returns last year. Terrell Ford.
Yeah.
Yay. Hey, it is what it is. Some people are natural returners. Talking about kick returners, he led the country, you know. So that speaks for something. I mean, that's something. Why not bring him in the camp? But on the roster right now, you just got to see what happens. You got to have an open competition, and the best man will win.
Yeah. I mean, how many people you think are gonna vie for that job?
Probably a 3-man race somehow, somewhere.
Yeah. And this is something if Hines was here, this wouldn't have been a question.
Yeah, honestly, they might. You may have to trade for somebody now.
You may have to, and I guess I think we were talking about this on the phone yesterday. Where you may see maybe if one of those defensive linemen are not going to make this roster, that they look to swap him out for a return man. Maybe a cornerback you look to swap out for a return man, because you have some stacks at a couple positions that players will be valuable in other teams, and natural returners, like I said, they're very very difficult to find.
Yeah, they're very rare. Period. A lot of times people think you just put a fast person back there. You got to understand how to read those blocks. You got to understand how to set up blocks, and also you got to be one tough dude, man. You got these dudes flying full speed down there trying to split your wig. So you got to be a different type of cat to do that. That's why everybody.
Yeah, no, I mean we learned the speed thing from James Cook last year.
Yeah,
Last preseason. He damn near got. It felt like he damn near got knocked out a couple times. I think you were saying last year he was stopping.
yeah. Everybody once again it's natural. You can tell people that they can find the natural seams. They can get through there. You just some people just don't got it
Yeah,
naturally.
yeah. Like I said, I think at the end of the day, I think Hardy can return punts, and then you're gonna have to find somebody to do kick returns. Like I said, if you want to bring another receiver in and run 6, 7 receivers on game day, you can. I'm not necessarily thinking it's gonna be a running back. I think at this point in time, where when you look at the running back position, you had Cook, you had Hines, you had um, Damian Harris, and I thought you would have Murray inactive every week. But if you bring in a receiver, you may have to have Murray active
And,
on
and
his
the
active
thing the
roster.
thing is this too about a returner.
Mm,
You don't need somebody to just run them back, like take it to the house. What you need is somebody that's I'm back.
yeah,
All right. What you need is somebody that consistently catches the ball, right? On top of that, you need somebody who's not going to fumble the ball. You don't want no turnovers, no botched kicks or punts, and somebody that's consistently going to go forward and get positive yards for you. That's what you need. It may sound easy, but it's not. It's not, and that's all they need. And Andre Roberts might be a thought if stuff start looking bad.
yeah. I mean, obviously, this is the guy that they could bring back. I know someone asked a question earlier. Um, let me scroll up here. I want to make sure I get the person name who asked the question. Major asked, "Is Andre Roberts a free agent? How much would the kickoff rule change the factor if you need a top returner?" I don't think it changes much. I think, like I said, I think more or less, punt returns more important than kick returns. I mean, you can let that ball go out the end zone for 5 straight weeks if you want to be safe, especially with this offense.
But the thing is, what people do JT, They pooch kick. They'll kick it up high. They'll kick it
Yeah.
so it lands on the 1 or 2 yard line. They're not gonna do that. If they know you weak in that area,
Right.
these special teams coordinators are too smart. They're not gonna bail you out. They're gonna make you.
Yeah.
They're gonna make you prove it.
Right.
They're gonna see if
I
that
mean,
guy gonna cough the ball up, or they're gonna see if that ball carrier know what he's doing.
right. I mean, and like I said, we saw about being unsure back there. We saw that with Isaiah McKenzie. Who was the other guy we had back there last year? It was McKenzie, and he was mixed with Marquez Stevenson for a little bit too.
Did he?
I don't know if it was last season, maybe season before, but we put both of them back there at one point in time, and both of them were unsure with the football. So
McKenzie just didn't look like a returner. He looked very uncomfortable.
yeah, and Stevenson didn't either at the same time. So this is something that we've been looking for since Andre Roberts. But yeah, Roberts makes a lot of sense. Obviously, I think that would be towards the tail end of camp. It's probably a guy that you really don't need to have in camp too much. He's been returning kicks forever. It's a guy that if you really wanted to, you can sign him on the Tuesday before the season begins, and you could place him back there to return those kicks in week 1, and he'll be just fine. So we're gonna see how this shakes out. Obviously, it's not the news people want to hear, but it is what it is. So moving on. Obviously, everybody was waiting to see what was gonna happen with Stefon Diggs. What the move was going to be with him coming to camp. Obviously, it seemed like water was under the bridge coming out of the mandatory OTAs where he finally did show for the last 2 days. Sean McDermott made a couple of comments on it this week. He said, Steph is ready to practice. He is in the locker room right now. We're in a good spot. As far as the team's concerned, we have a lot of work to do. I don't really think that's our focus, or it should be our focus, about the team and making sure we're putting the work out there that we need to put in. So Josh Allen's already stated that the media blew it out of proportion, and we're in mini camp. He said we're not playing a game for 4 months. He doesn't show up one day, he's still there. That's what Josh Allen said on the Bustin' with the Boys podcast. And Stefon Diggs, I think, alluded to this week, was pretty much just saying like it was a family issue. Okay. Now, whether you believe the issue was real now or how deep it was, that's up to the person. Yeah, that's up to the individual. Me personally, I've been saying forever this issue was real, and it was a very deep issue in my opinion. Okay, from the information I have. But for everybody, maybe it is just some small issue. But I've also been on record for saying when mandatory OTAs, it's very hard to be in close quarters with Josh Allen, a guy who's had your back like a brother, and not get your relationship back to normal, because it's going to be hard to stay mad at that guy. So James, they get into camp, they're back in the dorms. What happens actually in these dormitories anyway? You've been in an NFL training camp and mini camp situation, so what's the close quarters like?
So it's like it's just you learning people, right?
Okay.
And you just learning how they move, what they do, what they like to do, what they don't like to do. And that brings you so close together, man. It don't even make sense. Just going back to my CCSU days, and people fail to realize during this time, you spend more time with them than your own family, right? Like all you do, you're just focusing on what can I do to make this team better. Then is what can we do to accomplish our common goal.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this whole thing is blown out of proportion by people.
Mm-hmm.
And like bad, like blown up bad, right? So if just hypothetically speaking, if Diggs and Allen did have beef, what, Allen ain't gonna throw him the ball because he mad at him? Diggs not gonna run a route hard because he mad at Josh Allen? No. They both are going to be professionals. They're gonna go out there. They both elite at what they do. Period. They both want to win so bad that no matter if they did have beef, they're gonna go out there and they're gonna ball. Mm-hmm. So I don't know why people think you got to be best buddies with like that. And I understand everybody don't get it. You don't have to be best buddy with teammates. I got college teammates I couldn't stand. But at the end of the day, we went down there, we played, when we on the field, we got that championship. We accomplished that goal, right? Nobody would ever know. We didn't care for each other personally. Who cares? We got a job to do. We're gonna be professional. We're gonna go out here. We're gonna do our job, just like everybody here. Everybody, you don't like everybody at your job, but that don't mean you don't
Sure
respect
don't.
them. Yeah, that don't mean you don't respect them, and that don't mean you don't work well together. Some people that I work well with in the professional and sports world is people I don't even get along with. Because guess what? The only thing we have in common is that. So guess what? We're focused on that. That's what we focus on. We ain't talking about nothing else. That. We're focused on that. And we locked in, we zoomed in on that job, on that task, get it done. You don't have to be best. Like, people just blowing this up. Like, chill out, people. Like, they gonna be fine. They gonna be fine.
Like I said, and I don't think it was real beef. I think Diggs was upset. And he had a right to be upset about some things. Personally, like I said before, I don't think he went about everything the right way. But end of the day, if Josh says it's cool, and the biggest problem with McDermott wasn't really with Josh at the end of some of the things he did, and that's just McDermott being the head coach and the leader of this football team, and pretty much team president. If it's cool with them, they good. Josh ain't gonna hold no grudge, man. Josh ain't even that type of dude.
But Josh ain't stupid. Josh know he needs Stefon Diggs. And
Right.
vice versa. And vice versa.
And Stefon, right, vice versa as well. Steph realized, like, listen, just say you went somewhere like the Giants, quote unquote. Daniel Jones is not Josh Allen.
No.
You know what I mean? So at some point he has to realize that as well. So with that being said, it's all good now. Like I said, if McDermott says it's in a good spot, Diggs says it's in a good spot, Josh says it's in a good spot, everything's cool now. Now I'm not saying, and I've been saying this before, they come up short again this year. We're gonna be right back at this table talking about this next year. Okay? I'm gonna make that definitively clear. If they come up short this year again, we're gonna be right in this spot next year. And if we're at this spot right here, he may not be on this roster at this point in time next year. Because contractually, he can request a trade, and contractually, the Bills can get out of that contract without it being cap suicide. Okay? So, they come up short. This is not done. So I don't want to make.
But I don't want to say that. I slightly disagree.
Okay.
The way they played in that Bengals game, like, that was unacceptable.
And I get that. Yeah.
And it's how. I think that's the problem. It was how. And I get why. But I think it was how for Diggs. If it's the Kansas City game, even though that 13 seconds, we know how we felt. I think that's a little bit different than you just going out there to get punked off.
Right. You lay down.
Yeah.
You lay down.
At home.
And I get, like I said, I get it. I don't. Now I will never have a problem with him being upset about that. Just like certain things that he handled, I just want to handle certain ways. It is what it is. It's water under the bridge, they say so. But if they fall flat this year in the playoffs, and he felt like they gave that type of pathetic effort again, he won't be here next year.
He's not the only one. There's gonna be a lot of jobs gone. A lot of people gonna be gone.
Oh yeah. Absolutely, 110%. But they said it's done, man. So like I said, I'm gonna agree with it being done. So I guess moving on, we'll just talk about a little bit more about Bills camp a little bit more, man. Like I said, obviously James Cook, he's in store for a big road. It's something that we're gonna be talking a lot about over the next couple of weeks. The middle linebacker position is up for grabs. It seemed like it's Tyrell Dotson's right now jobs to lose.
Yep.
You think so?
That's the way it sounds. That's the feeling I got. He has experience in the defense for a while. He's been around. I think he earned that opportunity because he didn't play bad when he had the opportunity to play. So I think it is his job to lose. I think he's gonna go out there. I think he's gonna do pretty solid.
Yeah. Obviously, said one of the things we'll talk about next couple of weeks: Benford versus Elam for the number 2 cornerback spot. Obviously, Dane Jackson mixed in there as well. Let me ask you this question: If you had one person who could possibly not win a job on either side of the ball and end up being a trade candidate, who would you pick? Give me one on offense and give me one on defense.
Ooh, that's a good one, JT. That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one. Defensively, I'm going to say Dane Jackson.
Yeah, okay. I agree with that. That was my guy too.
Offensively, that's tough. That's tough. Um, I was almost ready to say Dawson Knox, but with this cap hit,
Yeah,
that's
no.
just not going to happen. Um, if Kincaid just looked crazy, I'm like, dude, you might look, but no. Offensively, I don't know. Maybe one of the offensive linemen. I mean, how much value do they really got?
Mm.
Um, Receivers. I mean, you're not trading Gabe Davis.
I'm not trading
Um,
Shakir.
you're not trading Shakir. Running back wise, I mean, what do you got to trade there? There's nothing really to trade there.
And you ain't gonna get no
So
value for running backs in this league. Hell, they can't even get a contract.
yeah, exactly. So, but I mean, maybe a cut candidate is maybe Mitch Morris. I highly doubt it. I think I put that at 5%.
Yeah, yeah.
If 5%, but that's like a wild card, right? Maybe something like that. But I would have to say Dane Jackson and then AJ. I don't know. I got to feel like AJ could be on the block.
Well, yeah. I mean, I mean, I think anytime you get somebody that's in the last year of their deal, and they hold some value, and that you know they hold value to other teams, I think they could be a trade candidate. We've seen in the past Brandon Bean seems always to make a trade or two exiting the preseason, whether it's an extra draft capital, late draft capital, or maybe a player swap. But if I had to pick two, honestly, on the defense side of the ball, I was with you with Dane Jackson.
Yep.
Because if you're not going to move Ben, and we talked about this at the tail end of last season, or maybe in the offseason, if Benford wasn't moving back to free safety, that Dane Jackson is a trade candidate. Because in my opinion, and I know a lot of people probably won't agree with this, in my opinion, Dane Jackson's a starting cornerback in this league.
Absolutely, no doubt, no
Um,
doubt.
I think that a lot of people use that Viking Justin Jefferson game as a barometer to judge him. But if you really go back and look at the numbers, he was probably your most consistent cornerback last year. And he's been consistent since he came into the league, and he's been playing the majority of the downs. He's always been consistent. I just think that if you use that as a barometer, then you have to show the whole league. And Justin Jefferson torched the whole league. It wasn't just Dane Jackson. So I think he'd be my candidate on defense, and I think you're onto something with tight ends. Obviously, for me, it's not Dawson Knox. It's the contract. It just wouldn't be able to do it. I actually think if this Sternberger kid works out pretty well, that possibly Quentin Morris could be a trade candidate because I could see Quentin Morris playing meaningful downs for another team. Like I said it last year, I was surprised that he beat out OJ Howard. But when I saw him get on the field, he played some meaningful downs for us, some
Yeah,
meaningful snaps. And I actually saw a lot of potential in him.
I can't
So
agree with you more. I like his potential.
yeah, that could be a guy that maybe, and like I said, if you can't find a kick returner off the street, if we're gonna call it, that maybe one of these guys are swapped out for return man.
Yeah,
You know, another name I know you're huge on the Andy Isabella tryout and hopefully signing because I know you've been on Andy Isabella's train since last year talking about the Bills should trade for him. But I'll give you another name that's a free agent. Byron Pringle is also another is a free agent. So
yes, I forgot all about him until you mentioned him the other day. I forgot all about him.
yeah, he's a free agent. He's with the Bears last year. Obviously, we know him from Kansas City mostly, but once again, another guy who's went to deep playoff runs, played in Super Bowls, has a lot of kick return experience. And once again, I think that the Bills they're trying to get away from the kick returner, punt returner roster hold. I think that was one of the reasons that they went with Nyheim Hines in the first place was to get somebody that can actually contribute within the offense. Because I think that was towards the end of Andre Roberts' run here. That was kind of a pain in the ass a little bit. Is that you had to use that roster spot every week for just a guy who could only return. Now, mind you, like I said, on this, sometimes it's worth it. Like you said it multiple times on this show. Special teams will cost you a game.
and then won us one.
Yeah. Well, actually, I've said in the past, I thought Roberts helped us win 3 or 4 games back in his tenure here.
Absolutely.
We're flipping the field and stuff.
If somebody said mention that he's 35, what he's going to be asked to do, his age really don't matter. He don't need to run a 4.3 to be effective. You know, somebody mentioned that in the comments. He don't need to run a 4.3 to be effective. What he's going to do is he's going to catch the ball. He's going to make the proper reads, and if you leave a lane open, he's going to expose it.
Yeah. Someone says go get J.D. McKissick. I don't know what McKissick. You know, that's interesting because obviously the guy they were interested in before he's built in the mold Nyheim Hines. I don't know what his return experience is.
He burnt the bridge here. I doubt it. That ain't happening.
Yeah.
That ain't happening.
Hey,
We getting that one right now. You don't back out. You don't agree to terms. Back out of the contract. Nah.
Never coming. You're not coming back.
You burnt that bridge.
Okay. I bet you wish he had that contract now because he sure got cut in Washington quick.
Yep.
Well, no. I mean, other than that, man, you know, this is just shorts and t-shirts right now, man. Shorts and jerseys. I was talking to the Mighty O the other day, and he was just like, you know, listen, don't read too much into what's going on right now. This ain't nothing but pretty much conditioning.
Yep.
Conditioning, a little bit of fanfare, team where they should make a little bit of money off the sales, the memorabilia sales while they're out there and stuff like that. But the nitty gritty come in a couple weeks.
Yep.
Am I wrong?
When them pads come on and you hear that pads popping, that's when it's on.
Let me know when they grab each other face masks and fighting.
Yeah.
That's when it's going. And I actually think it's going to be a lot of fights this year.
Oh, absolutely. There's a lot of jobs up for. It's not a lot of jobs up for grabs, so dudes is fighting.
Yeah, and like I said, this is not necessarily your same core.
Yeah,
a lot of different players here. But trying to think, what day is it? Thursday. You know, Thursday night. I'm thinking we're gonna get back here. Hopefully next Tuesday we'll get back on here. Like I said, some of those other topics I definitely want to talk to and touch on.
Absolutely.
And as we get into more camp, we'll hear more. We'll see how the landscape is shaking out and stuff like that. But any final thoughts before we get off here?
Just, hey, we back, y'all. Thank you for bearing with us this off season. So we got some good material coming up. You don't want to miss it. So we'll be tuning in weekly. We'll be on weekly, if not more than just once a week. Some things pop up. You know, JT and I hop right on, talk about it a little bit, ask for y'all input. So thank y'all for being able to, you know, support us, subscribe, all of that. We want that. We want that support. We want that love. So like I always say, man, don't sleep on it. Be on it, man. We back. We all the way back.
Most definitely. Well said, my brother. And you know, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get to camp this year. I was thinking about it, but you know, obviously with work and everything like that, I don't know if I'm gonna make it up. We'll see. Maybe I'll pop up to camp one day. Maybe we'll pop up there. I'm trying to think. I don't think we have anything going on. I know we're gonna be promoting the Fans of Buffalo trip to DC for the Commanders game, so stay tuned for that. They got some nice things worked out there, so we're releasing details for that. When as I get the details, I'll be releasing more. We should be down there making that happen, and I mean, hopefully, just keep your fingers crossed. No injuries. Let's get through camp easily. If you're traveling to and from camp, travel safely. There's a lot of crazy people in this world, and make sure you guys protect yourself from this heat wave. I mean, we getting crazy heat wave in the Northeast right now. So I know I'm in Connecticut, but I get the same weather as y'all, either the same day or the next day or before.
Yep.
Depending on which way it's moving. So make you safe, stay hydrated, and yeah, man, like I said, pray for no injuries, and we'll probably catch you guys next week. Pretty much it. Same place, same. I don't know, can't say same time, same day. Oh, Buffalo Vets. Yeah, the Vets is back, right?
We back. We started on Monday. Hey, y'all got cheerleaders, football players for ages 5 to 15. Bring them on out. We back.
I said we can start putting a link up there for that too.
Absolutely.
But yeah, other than that, I got nothing left. We'll see you next week some point in time. Thank you for tuning in. Catch you later. Peace.